Hello everybody and welcome to World's Strongest Man in Botswana. These are the incredible Makgadikgadi salt pans, and it's a place so strong in history. Human beings have been living here indeed for almost 1.5 million years, from prehistoric times right through to Dr. Livingstone, who passed through this way. Well, today it's the backdrop as we unveil perhaps a new evolution of the species. Hafthor Bjornsson, the mightiest Thor since the last ice age ended, and very much the star of Heat 2.
From the snow-clad mountains surrounding Reykjavik to the fires of Valhalla, Iceland's sons are like no other breed of man. And one in particular won't rest until he has become the most powerful on the planet. Having been so close to realizing his dream so many times, lesser mortals would have turned their backs and simply accepted defeat. For Hafthor Julius Bjornsson, this isn't an option. It's not in his nature to raise the white flag, despite suffering at the fist of fate's cruel blow. 5 years he has been on the podium, his glance always towards the victor. Now he has sacrificed more. He feels his time has come. Between Bjornsson and the grand final are 6 events, and 5 other athletes who have all the same dream of qualifying for the chance to win the title, including the Scot, Luke Stoltman, and the American, Martins Licis, the 6th strongest on the planet. All are eager to make the mountain crumble.
Well, Mr. Van Magnusson, Thor has conquered the European title, he's conquered Hollywood too, but this is one throne that eludes him. What kind of challenge will he be mounting?
Well, he's done all the training this year. He's turned down competitions, he turned down appearances just to train for this show.
If he is on form, the rest of the group are probably going to be battling for 2nd place. Now, there's some big names in there, Britain's Luke Stoltman, also Martins Licis.
Well, Stoltman is really good and a good stone lifter, but Licis, he's just a machine.
You mentioned stone lifting. Of course, we saw in Heat 1 how crucial that can be when we come down to that final event, last man standing. We're going to be hearing from Luke Stoltman very shortly. Right now, it's over to Sarah Jane at Event 1.
Thanks, James. Now, up next, it's all about the load and drag, where our athletes have to carry these 110-kilogram sacks down to this table and then drag this 310-kilogram cart along to the finish line. That's a lot of kilograms. And with us to tell us more, our very own Brit, Luke Stoltman. How tough is this event, really? Fill me in.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. I mean, we've obviously got the sandbags, load them, and then we've got to do the drag, which is just... The sandbag's the easy part, and the drag's going to be torture. I mean, we're going to tear some calluses off our hands, we're going to see some guys slipping and falling over.
You're prepared, though.
I'm always prepared, yeah. Come ready, yeah.
Camera ready.
Yeah. I'm happy to be here again in Botswana, representing my country. I'm very proud of that fact. So yeah, hopefully if everything goes well, I'll make the final. Knock on wood, yeah.
Well, listen, best of luck with this opening event.
Thanks very much.
Will he be lucky Luke? The crowd in Gaborone are certainly pumped ahead of this opening event. So let's get straight to our commentators, Colin Bryce, and first, Danny Wallace.
Thanks, James. So, as Luke said, a hard event, the load and drag. 75 seconds to carry those sacks, and then it's dragging that car. And that really is the tough bit. These bricks are unforgiving, as Luke knows.
Lane 2 from Canada, Jimmy Paquette.
And he's up against Paquette from Canada. Placed 2nd in Canada's Strongest Man. And the former circus strongman, Savatinov. He owns a small dog called Mr. Party Pants. He's got his own Facebook group. And they're off, Colin.
Well, I imagine the likes of Stoltman will do well at the start. Paquet as well. They both very fit and fast. A little slip from Paquet. As for Savatinov, he's built more for the stationary strength events.
A slower start from the Bulgarian. Stoltman moving on to the bit he's dreading. Whoa, Paquet slipping there.
Too much power. For the grip anyway, and he's worried about this. He's just about the lightest guy in the entire contest, Paquet. He's a positively skinny 20 stone, and well, Luke's got at least 3 or 4 stone on him. As for Big Dimitar here, he's even heavier, so maybe he'll catch. This could be tortoise in the hair.
Very difficult to get any momentum with this. It's a case of mass pulling mass. Stoltman glancing over. But look at this, Savatinov on that mass pulling mass note, overtaking Parquet. And that's that. Well, Stoltman did himself proud. Oh. He's a part-time nudist. Managed both sacks and managed a distance of 6.43, so it's that to beat.
You know, I thought he did a different technique here than the others. He actually kind of slightly pulled the front end up a bit as he drove, and that just perhaps lowered the amount of friction, and there's a huge amount of friction here. That's the problem.
From Iceland, please welcome Stefan Solvi Peterson!
So Pedersen from Iceland, rich history from that country. This is someone to watch. Did extraordinarily well last year, Lissis. And over here, a crowd favourite, also from Iceland, Bjornsson. Working the crowd. There's his sister. See if he can spot his massive dad.
Yeah, the guy who's nearly 7 foot in the crowd there. And he always brings a lot of friends and family along, Bjornsson. Will this be his year? He's got all the tools. And at 6'9" and nearly 200 kilos, so much power for this kind of event right here.
Great pace. And to get this started, it's a trial in itself to keep it going. And he nearly slipped there. Managed to correct himself. A new camera angle from the point of view of a cart. In case you've ever wondered, how does the cart feel? But Bjornsson really storming ahead here. Lissis having a little bit of trouble over there. He knows he's got it. He knows he can do it.
30 seconds. Well, he glances over at the others. Just a little check to make sure they're behind. He's done enough to win this already if no one else gets close. But come on, Hafthor, finish it off.
Has to get over the line. One more should do it.
Just not as easy as I thought it would be, but there we go.
10 seconds to spare. Lissis. How close can he get?
I think he's probably got a mental mark what Stoltman did, and I think he surpassed that.
Give a big hand for the winner of this group, Hafthor.
So Hafthor, Julius Bjornsson, the only man to finish.
So, Hafthor Julius looking good in drag. The only athlete to cross that line. An excellent start for the Icelander in his ongoing quest for you-know-what. Lissis and Stoltman making up the top 3. Hafthor's sitting pretty then, but plenty of tough tests still to come. And up next, it's a classic. The squat, coming up on CoreGenics World's Strongest Man.
Welcome back to World's Strongest Man. We've come back to the Grand Palm Hotel in Gaborone now so that the competitors can each make a trip to the bar. It's likely to be quite a heavy sesh as well, though, because, well, this is the bar in question. The squat lift, 320 kilos of weight. It's an event that's as grueling as a workhouse kitchen and has taken its toll on many competitors in the last couple of years. How will Luke, Hafthor and the other Heat 2 hopefuls handle it? Let's find out.
Yes, indeed. Well, it is the squat lift. 60 seconds. To lift this enormous weight, 320 kilos, as many times as possible. Well, Pedersen and Savatinov, surprisingly, managed 0 reps. 4 athletes remain.
Ready, 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 squat. Jimmy Paquet, he's got to touch the depth. Squat. Additional pads this year that weren't there before. Just to stop bouncing happening. More to save the athlete than anything else.
Sometimes they do use this bounce, though, don't they?
Yes, but when it was just metal on metal, it would kick them off to the side. And well, trying to minimize any injury factor here. This is very good from Paquet. You've got to remember, he's only around about 120 kilos himself, so doing triple his own weight nearly.
This is his favorite event. And one he hopes to do extraordinarily well at. Managed 8.
Wow. Could he run out of time? We haven't seen that before. That would be something else. 10 seconds to go.
Watching the balance, but that's it, I think.
Help him, doctor!
Oh, is he okay? A look of delight from the crowd.
With 9 repetitions from Canada,
But he's
Jimmy
okay.
Puckett.
So, current leader in the squat lift, 9 for the others to beat.
Ground out the reps. A real gutsy performance for a man in his first ever World's Strongest Man contest.
Over then to Luke Stoltman.
Okay. Well, Stoltman, of course, still works on the oil rigs full time, so this is one of the events he can do on the oil rigs. Not easy to do the fingers there, but you can squat some weights. He's got colossal legs as well. He's got to be a little careful. He's dropping rather quickly.
Yes. Squats.
You see how it just puts him off balance if he hits one side instead of the other first. He's got to be careful.
Yes.
Struggling now. That looks to be it for Stoltman.
They've got come out.
But demands appreciation nonetheless. Currently second with 4 reps. His brother Tom will be watching that.
Yeah, he was coming up with that 5th repetition, started to go over to the right-hand side. Just lost his balance.
Take it out.
Here's Lissis,
On time.
big personality in this competition.
Squat.
He is an extraordinary athlete, Lissis. He's the kind of man who does lots of gymnastic events. You know, can do many, many things across all sports. Very talented guy.
He's actually Mars Wrestling World Champion, but if memory serves, he learned to lift, I think, on his grandfather's farm in Latvia. And look at this. Oh, his knee strap.
Ooh, that'll put him off. It hasn't. He's tough, you know. Goodness me, this is mental fortitude right here. That knee is unsupported.
Just one more to take the lead in this. He's got it. That's 10. What else has he got?
Wow.
Attitude's what he's got.
11 repetitions. Do you like what you see? We do, Marty. Well done.
Well, with 11, Lissis powers ahead.
Well, once that strap came off, I mean, it doesn't just keep your knee tight, it actually helps you spring up again, so it just shows you how much power he has.
So to Bjornsson. Now, he's going to have bad memories of the squat. It actually cost him the title back in 2014.
That's right, yeah. He didn't wear a suit then, that was the problem. He was
squat
still,
suit.
Yeah, still a bit amateur, and he was the only guy in the final who didn't. Well, you can see the tight suit around his hips there, keeping him tight, keeping him safe. And what is this? That was so easy.
Well, 11 was what he had to beat. If he'd beaten 9, he'd have got second. He's settling for 3rd place with 5 reps.
Nice win for Lissis, though. Well deserved with 11 reps. Goodness me.
Legs 11 for Lissis then as he takes first. Behind him, Jimmy Paquet bouncing back nicely, while a tactical performance from Bjornsson, 3rd in traditionally a difficult event for him. After 2 challenges then, Thor is a point off the top and Luke Stoltman is still in the hunt in 3rd. But in 1st, it is Lissis, the American all-rounder, who made such an impression here last year.
Last year's World's Strongest Man was a dream come true for me. I don't know if it was because I had braids or like my charming personality, maybe just my good looks. But right after that first event, I was a fan favorite. I felt every time I stepped out there to compete, I felt the energy of the crowd. I was there to destroy, to do what I wanted to do since I was a little kid, made it to the top 10. This year, I absolutely will destroy at another level.
He doesn't lack drive, which is handy, because our next event is the bus pull. How will Lissis fare? How will his rivals conduct themselves? To find out, let's rejoin Colin and Danny.
Thanks, James. So the bus pull is the event where you pull a bus. You have 60 seconds to drag this 15-ton monster 25 meters.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Danny. Stefan Solvay, 16 metres, currently in third. 2 men ahead of him so far, Savatinov and Paquet. Neither man finished, though. And whoever finishes in first after 5 events goes through to the grand final without having the ordeal of the Stone Challenge at the end. And
that's what Stoltman wants. 21.58 to beat.
It's worth saying as well, if you're last in the heat after 5 events, well, you'll be getting the bus home. You don't take part in the last event. Nice to see him pull the full 25 metres. But from what we've seen so far, it's not the easiest of starts. He's already slipped. He's got to get up to a reasonable speed because it's slightly uphill at the end, and if you lose that momentum, you're never going to get it started again.
You need that momentum. You also need to keep that rope kind of as flat as possible.
Yes, well said. It's the most efficient way to pull. You don't want to be going side to side either. Luke could do with being perhaps a little lower here. 30 seconds comes and goes. The bus is starting to slow. How close to the finish line? I'd guess about 6+ meters at the moment.
Still 20 seconds to go, but like you say, if you stop, you've pretty much stopped. Needs to keep going. The front of the bus must cross the line. Got the wheels as it is with the plane events that have happened in the past. With the bus, it's the front.
And he's getting close, very close. Come on, Luke! Oh!
Just shy of 25 meters, but I mean, it looks like he's in first place with that. Yes, the leader with 24.12 meters, agonizingly close.
Yeah, he went to the bank and withdrew everything there. That was really laying it on the line, and he got the result he wanted. I'm not sure it'll be enough to really trouble someone like Hapthor, but maybe Lissus.
Talking of whom? Just a great competitor. Does not lack self-confidence. That's kind of why we love him. He was actually mugged as a teenager, which he says really fueled him to train. And look at this technique now. He's low, fast, getting that rhythm going, Colin.
All the training in the world won't fill you with explosive muscle fiber. That's just natural. And he's charging away like a bull. And look how low he is. What you're saying, Danny, that towing rope is pretty flat. Perfect efficiency. Oh, the slip doesn't help. He's lost so much momentum. Goodness, he's not wearing climbing shoes. Terrible choice of footwear.
Now he's having to go higher. Isn't where he wants to be at all. He wanted to keep that rhythm up.
Oh, he's in a world of hurt here. I think Stoltman will not be beaten. It's just too hard to get it up this final hill.
Just over 10 seconds to go. Well, what can he do with this?
21.5 for Paquet. He might not even beat that, you know.
Well, he crosses the line, more or less, but not the bus. So disappointing, and it was just that slip, wasn't it?
21.08, yeah, he's come up short. We still have Hapthor to go. He generated so much power as well. Almost too much power, certainly for the shoes he was wearing. Rock climbing shoes is what you need.
Representing Iceland.
Those shoes look like they'll do the job. Bjornsson then next. Placed second so far. And this is something he's very good at.
Yes, I mean, we've discussed it before, mass pulls mass, and, you know, he's such a big boy, isn't he? And, of course, wildly powerful in the legs, saved a bit as well by not squatting too hard, so he is ready to pull this like a virtual canter here.
Look at the speed. 20 seconds gone, shows no signs of slowing. Has the rhythm, has the pace, making this look extraordinarily easy.
Wow, he's going to be roaring after this one.
And there it is, 35.01 seconds. The Mountain does it again. You wait all year for a strong man and 3 come along at once.
But not all of them finish it.
It's interesting, though. He didn't need to go that hard. Maybe it was for the crowd, but maybe it was a message for the other strongmen.
It was win or bust, and Bjornsson does the former, the only man once again to finish the course, and doing it in a blistering 35 seconds. A magnificent second spot for Luke Stoltman, who picks up some vital points. At the halfway stage then, Hapthor moves up into that automatic promotion place. The next four men are heading towards the playoff, with Lissis slipping to second and Stoltman closing the gap. Hapthor raising the bar in Botswana, and coming up, more of that kind of thing as we get our first look at this year's Axel Press. Stay tuned as CoreGenics' World's Strongest Man continues.
Welcome back, everyone, to World's Strongest Man, very much in Botswana. Heat 2 of the competition, and if you're just joining us, this is what you need to know about what's gone on so far. It all began with the load and drag, Hapthor giving his opponents what for, the only man to complete the course. Now, Bjornsson took it a little bit easy on the squat lift, but Martins Lissis didn't, pulling off a D-Lissis 11 reps. That put him top of the group, but only briefly, because come the third event, the bus pull, Hapthor put his foot to the floor, parking his bus over the line. Behind him, in a very creditable second place, was Luke Stoltman. And that means that with 3 events to go, while Hapthor leads 2 points clear of Martins Lissis, in third place lurks Luke, 2 points clear of Jimmy Paquet. It all sets up for a very interesting finale. Let's get off then to event 4.
And bringing us the action from the Bahurutsi Cultural Lodge are Colin and Danny.
Thanks, James. So, the Axel Press. 75 seconds to lift this 162 kilogram weight. It's the same as lifting Hafthor Bjornsson above your head, something Pedersen managed twice, but Savatinov did not manage, equaling my record. So Paquet is going head-to-head with the Highland Oak, Luke Stoltman.
Take your grip!
Very explosive Paquet.
Left!
But Stoltman has incredible shoulders. He gets it to the shoulders. I'd back Stoltman pressing it out. Oh,
And he does. Yes.
Yes, he got given the rep. He was up and down. He didn't really lock it perfectly, but he locked it a few times, so got the rep. Now, Paquet, come on.
Using his power belly. Not enough of a belly there, as it turned out. Not enough of a shelf.
Stoltman then for number 2. Equaling the lead if he gets it. And I don't think he held it up there long enough. I think he jumped the gun on the referee's signal. You have to wait for a down there.
Just over 30 seconds left. And that will have discouraged Stoltman a bit.
A lot of energy got spent on that. That would have made a big difference to points as well. He'd be equal first.
Losing his balance. He needs to get this. Knows he can. But he can't.
Ouch.
Both men beaten.
Wow, Paquet, 0, but Stoltman should have done 2 if he'd have just held it longer. Once it's up there, it's easy to hold it and jump the gun on the ref.
You do get the feeling that had he got 2, he might have got 3, Colin.
Yeah, I mean, it does sort of mentally drain you. You see his face there. In fact, did he even lock it out properly? Maybe it was just a bad lockout.
On the right, representing the United States, Martins Lissis.
So Lissis, currently 2 points ahead of Stoltman.
And on the left, representing Iceland, Hafthor Julius.
Up against Bjornsson, trying a new look, it seems.
Your grip! Left!
Fascinated to see how Lissis will do in this. Bjornsson, of course, wildly powerful. No problem at all. But Lissis has an Olympic lifting background. There you go.
Absolutely.
Little split jerk. Very snazzy.
This is also someone who won't take no for an answer. He knows he can do pretty much all of this stuff and do it well.
Yeah, nickname was Mad Dog for a while because he just attacks everything with, well, almost too much enthusiasm. And look at that, gave everything into it. Number 3, he's neck and neck with Bjornsson, who looks over, thinking, you have no right to hang with me.
Look at this.
Lissis is going to try and duff him up here.
Make it happen, make it happen, you got time.
Oh, Bjornsson pretends he's going to go for it.
A little bit of psychological warfare. He's saying, prove yourself to Lissis.
Wonder if there was a deal done in the tent that Lissis is just broken.
Well, up they go. Bjornsson, though, the more powerful man, manages 4. That's it for Lissis. Managed 3. Could have done himself some damage there. Bjornsson takes it with 4. Let's see what happened with Lissis.
Well, he was cleaning off the power belly. Well, he actually took one to the chin, but that wasn't what he was moaning about as he walked off. I think it's his chest.
Martins, that was quite the battle. First of all, are you okay?
I hope so. Mostly okay. A little sore in my chest. But right when the bar hit me on that 4th rep, I felt a little quick. So I immediately dropped it. Might have gotten a slight fracture or dislocated rib, I'm not sure.
Do you feel like you can continue on for the competition?
Absolutely.
Lissis a little sore, but there's a big Thor on top in what proved a very grueling axle press. 4 reps there for Bjornsson, 3 for Lissis. Behind him, Stefan Solvi Pedersen getting 1 over on Luke Stoltman. With 2 events to go, Luke is still in with a shot at second, and Lissis is just 3 points off the top. But back-to-back event wins have shown not even a pesky virus can stand in the way of Bjornsson.
I'm here to win. I'm in good shape right now. No injuries, except I had a virus called Bell's palsy. Half of my face is paralyzed. The doctor said it will recover, but it takes time. It doesn't affect my strength, because it's not a beauty contest, so I'm fine. I still haven't reached my goal. That's to win the competition. To be second is nothing to me. I want to win this competition. That's my goal, and that's what I'm here for.
Up next for Bjornsson and the boys, event 5, and tensions high as this could prove crucial in determining who makes it through to our grand final. Over to Sarah Jane and our very own Viking.
Thanks, James. Magnus, talk me through the technique for this one.
Well, the athletes have to throw 8 blocks like this. And it goes from 17.5 kilos up to 25. And the faster time wins.
Wow, look very, very solid indeed. Now, it was all about the keg toss last year. What difference does the shape of this implement have on our athletes and how they're throwing them?
Well, this is slightly smaller, so you can go lower to the ground and explode more and extend your body right to get it over.
I am looking forward to it. It's going to be extremely exciting. But that's coming up shortly because we're going to celebrate the 40th anniversary of World's Strongest Man, and we're going to do it in style with another decade flashback. Very, very cool hairdos and short shorts. It was all about the 80s.
The 1980s was a decade of legends and lasting memories. As families gathered in living rooms to open Christmas gifts, they also tuned in to watch the world's strongest man. The first icon was American Bill Kazmaier, and the event's rise in popularity ran parallel with Kaz's meteoric ascent. For 3 years, he reigned supreme, overcoming injury, pushing limits, and Playboy bunnies. He even proved himself to be something of a sumo master. And then there was Britain's own Geoff Capes. For British fans, the landmark moments of the decade were witnessing the king being crowned, not once, but twice, as households willed him on and punched the air. The cheers rang out years later as Jamie Reeves closed the decade and became the second Brit to win the title. By then, we were no strangers to larger-than-life characters. But if you had to choose just one who defined this golden era, it would have to be John Paul Sigmarsson. The Icelander was simply a level above. We'd never seen anyone quite like him. Never short of a few words, he had the audacity to back them up.
The king of
He'd entertain, he'd make us believe.
How about that?
How about that indeed?
And 4 times he turned his powerful rhetoric into victories.
I am the king!
The 1980s, a decade of treasured memories, a decade of legends.
And a decade of car bundling, head bending, and woman lifting. And now the bullion toss takes us into the 21st century. 60 seconds to throw those gold bars over a wall nearly 16 feet high. So Lissus went first. If he does have an Achilles heel, it's this event. Last year, didn't get any points at all. This year, though, managed 2. After him, Paquet, with a very unusual technique.
Don't catch it, Jimmy, for goodness sake.
Don't catch it, said the ref. He managed 4, though. Just under 30 seconds before Pedersen had a go. Did a lot better. Very good technique. And a bit of luck. Absolutely terrifying. Now here's the news with Savatinov, Colin.
Yes, right bicep strain. He's had to withdraw.
Representing Great Britain, Luke Stoltman!
Meaning Stoltman goes into this event knowing at least Savatinov isn't going to be bothering him.
Well, you never know with Luke. He's always smiling. Certainly enjoys competition. Oh, goodness me. Doesn't do a big swing there, but really gets his leg power into it. That's interesting. Different technique.
It's a very different technique from most of the others, isn't it?
Well, now he's starting to use that swing between the legs. And, oh, he's loving this. 6 and 32, was it, for Pedersen?
Yeah.
Could he do it?
Well, he's up to 5 already.
Stop shouting and get on with it, man.
Oh. Okay, well, this will obviously slow him down. Doesn't seem to have dented his confidence, though. He's enjoying this.
He wants one more. There's another 2 after that, Luke.
And he manages it. That's enough for him. Any excuse with this guy. Made in Scotland from girders. Really wouldn't be hugging him. Very sweaty. And he'll fracture your ribs.
Well, look at the technique. In the end, it was spot on and so close to getting that 6th over and beating Stefan Solvi that would have got him another point. So he'll have to settle for 3rd, probably.
Well, it depends on how Bjornsson does it. Feels like you're saying he's going to storm this one.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you'd probably bet your house that Bjornsson's going to win an event like this. He's, except maybe Brian Shaw. look at the ease. He doesn't even have to look where he's going. I mean, the clearance is by many feet. This is extraordinary.
You know, he's making it look very, very easy. But I think if we think about it, each one is, you know, when you go on holiday, Colin, and you pack your suitcase and they weigh it.
20 kilos, 22 kilos.
22 and a half, something like that. That's what these weigh.
When you think of it like that, it's with ease. He's only going to do 5 bars?
He's stopped. He's stopped at 5.
Well, that'll mean Stefan Solvi will take the win. Has he done his Icelandic pal a favour there? A little bit of in-camp tactics, perhaps, but look at that. It's ludicrously easy.
So while Hapthor has a light workout, Pedersen takes the win ahead of Luke Stoltman, blasting 6 bars over in just under 33 seconds. Lissus once more struggling in a throwing event. How much will that cost him? It's Hapthor who takes the automatic qualifying spot then, and with Savatinov out, what follows for the next 4 men could prove very dramatic. Sarah Jane is with Luke Stoltman now.
Oh, Luke, you look like you're enjoying yourself on that one.
Yeah, it's a fun event. I mean, in training it wasn't so good. I didn't think I was going to get 1 over, so I got 6 overs. So yeah, it was a nice. Obviously, Scotland, we got the Highland Games and stuff. So it's. I never do the Highland Games, but I couldn't let my fellow Scotsmen down.
And has that given you some confidence for the rest of the competition?
Oh yeah, I'm going to smash it. Whoever's up against me in the Stones better watch themselves. I'm smashing it.
We'll see how Luke gets on in our brand new event, a test of strength, endurance and determination. Last man standing is next.
Lions, magnificent kings of the Botswana plain. And time now for some raw action in our final event. It's all about pride as we find out who rule in Last Man Standing. Over to Colin and Danny.
Yes, so this new event, the World's Strongest Man, Last Man Standing. 1 stone put backwards and forwards over the bar. Has to be done in 10 seconds or less. Now, Bjornsson, who's in first place, he's been promoted to the grand final. He's not in this. Same with Savatinov. He was in last place, so he's been removed. That means we have 4 athletes. Paquet will take on Pettersson. Whoever wins that will take on Stoltman, who's got the advantage of being fresh. Whoever wins that takes on Lissis. And here we go.
So Paquet, who was in 5th position, has to serve first, if you like.
Yeah.
Back to you, Mr. Pettersson, who, well, he hasn't really got much time to slip. He's got to get this over quickly.
And it's down. Must go in that square that you can see. This makes it a little easier for your competitor.
Well, I wonder whether Pettersson, obviously he didn't lift first, that's a slight advantage, but also his height is an advantage. Always is in stones. But Jimmy's fit.
I can set you up. Up it goes.
And I can tell you, Luke Stoltman will want this to carry on for a long, long time. He's hoping both men are thoroughly exhausted before he has to step in and join the fray.
Well, Paquet is actually from JF Caron's, what would you call it?
Well, Jim.
That's why I didn't know what it was. Now, these stones are around 350 pounds. It's the equivalent of passing 1.3 Donald Trumps compressed into a ball across a bar. There's an image for you.
Okay, pops it over. Gets rid of it quickly. Hot potato with the Atlas stone. And Stefan Solvi, no problems. It's when the tacky starts to run out, a couple of slips, sweat being a factor too. He's pumped, like Caron did in the previous heat, psychologically trying to get that advantage over the man he's facing down.
And both men know this is an uphill struggle from here, because even if they beat the other guy, there's a fresh man waiting.
Yeah, and I bet Luke Stoltman's going to be sprinting in. He's not going to give the man any time at all. At least that's what he should be thinking.
I wonder who Stoltman thinks has the edge, or who Stoltman would rather go up against. Well, that's it for Pettersson, meaning Paquet now faces Stoltman, who, because he's placed higher, has that advantage.
Stoltman must lift first, but what's he doing? He's fumbling the ball here. My goodness, that would have been awful if he messed up in the first lift.
And he knows he has to focus now. Really, it shows that bit of showboating he did earlier. If he hadn't done it and he got those extra points, he wouldn't be in this position now.
Well said, yes.
Thank
it would
you.
have been he who would have come in last instead of Lissis, who's looking on coolly now. But if Stoltman's lucky, Paquet might be finished here. Oh, he's tough, isn't he?
Well, look at this. No, that's it. Brave, though.
Lissis.
Lissis is already there.
Straight in.
And Stoltman, because he's only done 2 reps, Colin, still pretty fresh. So a battle more or less of equals.
Yes, indeed. He's not trying to show off either, just taking it to his lap, repositioning and back over. But Lissis, well, he's the one man all the athletes were saying they really wouldn't want to face in this competition. Mad Dog Lissis. He's not going to give up.
No signs of slowing down. There's his girlfriend, Rebecca, shouting encouragement. Stoltman. This is it back. Remember, they've only got 10 seconds or less for each pass of the stone.
He's getting better, Luke Stoltman.
Really is. Yeah, after a shaky start, he's found his technique.
Retacking every time. As Lissis suddenly huffing and puffing. Well, this would be something else. I don't think anybody would have backed Stoltman to push Lissis.
Look how quickly Stoltman just moves towards the stone, grabs it.
Well, that was the first sign of just a little fatigue there. He struggled to pop it with his hips. I think his legs are starting to go. And she just said there, get it back to him as quick as possible. She knows Stoltman is starting to struggle now. That's exactly what he does. Pressure's on.
But Stoltman, not a man to give up. He's slowing, but I don't think he's weakening.
Well done, yes. He's got to just try and take the full 10 seconds. Keep breathing. Try and make it an aerobic activity. He missed it. Oh, no.
Well, that's a disaster. And with such little time, there's no coming back from it. Lissus delighted. Rebecca over the moon. A nonplussed bearded man in the background. But what a victory for Lissus. Just warming up, he says. Stoltman likes that. Just an incredible battle between those two men. Incredible determination from Stoltman. But Lissus does it. He advances to the grand final. And Stoltman takes it with good grace.
Yes, so sporting there. Stoltman enjoys his competition, but despite being close, the right man's gone to the final, I think, and they're both with SJ now.
Guys, congratulations. That was an incredible battle. Luke, you did Britain proud. Commiserations that you're not in the final.
Yeah, I mean, my aim this year was to come here and do better than last year. And, you know, to be battling out with this guy for a place in the final, that's something that I want to take with me, man. He's got a massive future. He's going to be our world's strongest man for sure.
Learn how to throw like this guy. He's on me. Next year I'll be a good thrower like Stoltman here.
Was he just so great to compete with?
It's always fantastic to compete with him. Happy to have him in my group again.
Congratulations, you're in the grand final. How'd you feel?
Oh, so elated. I love it. Pure ecstasy.
Well done, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, an extraordinary finale to a great heat. Well done to all the athletes, and especially Luke, who came so close. But it is Lissus and Bjornsson who go through to the grand final.
Out of Africa then for 4 more contenders. But we've got 6 more strongmen coming up in Heat 3, which features Konstantin Janashir, the big bearded Georgian who finished 4th in Kasane, and another of last year's grand finalists, a former Europe's Strongest Man, Lawrence Shahlaei. We'll see how it pans out for them next time on World's Strongest Man.